Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Hawk Blogger Mornings. It's me, Brian Emhauser. And yes, I am doing this from a parking spot tethered to my iPhone cell signal. No idea if this is coming through, if it's laggy, if the performance is good enough. But you know what? I had to do a favor for my sister who unfortunately got in a pretty serious bike accident, needed to make a trip to the hospital. And so I dropped her off there with her husband. And while they're at the appointment, I figured, why not sneak in an episode of Hawk Blogger Mornings, because I couldn't give you a post-practice report yesterday, and I've got a bunch of stuff going on today. So hopefully this is working for you all. Hopefully it's probably not the best of all worlds, but I think it'll be good enough. That's my hope. And I've got some good stuff for you. So we've got the full Boye Mafe interview. I did an interview with him yesterday after practice, and I will play that for you in just a second. I've got my notes from practice, so I will tell you what I saw. I actually saw some really good stuff from Milroe and Emmanwori, and I thought that was worth sharing with all of you, so I'll go through that. And if time permits, I'm also going to share with you some fun stuff from the rookies who had to perform for the vets last night. And there were some pretty cool, fun videos that were posted. I will share those with you, time permitting. If you haven't already, give the show a like and click subscribe. I would appreciate it. We're almost to 21,000 subscribers. Would love to keep growing. If you haven't been to HBTix, hbtix.com, head over there. We are selling many tickets now. It's awesome to see. Sign up. It's free. There are no fees. I'm not taking any fees for people that are selling tickets or buying tickets on the site. I just want to help Seahawks fans buy from or sell to other Seahawks fans so we can make sure that Lumen Field is full of Seahawks jerseys. All right. So let's get to it. First thing of the morning, I am going to share the Boye Mafe interview with you. And this was good. It was good. And Boye, it was kind of interesting. He made a comment before the interview about, having receipts and knowing, like, I introduced myself. He's like, I know you. And I'm like, all right, I don't assume anybody knows me, to be honest. Like, yes, I do this show all the time and a lot of people watch, but honestly, folks, I don't think any differently about it. So, I was kind of curious about what he meant. I'm going to, I'll probably follow up with Boye another time, but we had a good time having this conversation. And if you had wanted to see this interview right away, club level and higher YouTube members got to see it first thing yesterday when I posted it, but now all of you get to see it. So let me, without further ado, play the Boye Mafe interview for you from yesterday at the VMAC. All right, everybody, we're here with Boye Mafe, your edge rusher for the Seattle Seahawks, man. It's good to see you again. How was your offseason?
It was great. It was great. Spent some time away, traveled a little bit, saw my family, spent some time doing, things I like to do.
Well, so this was the last mandatory minicamp practice. You off now?
Oh, yeah. Time to go back to the dojo, lock in, and, take care of what we need to before we come back and lock in for the season. So
you're going to get away, hang out with some friends, travel a little bit?
Yeah, I'm from Minnesota, so my biggest thing is I'm about to go home and get on the lake. Lake life is a big thing where I'm from, so I think I'm going to go home, enjoy some lake time, and enjoy my family, spend some time with them and some friends, and just relax.
So I want you to picture this, all right? We're a year from now. We're looking back on what's going to be this season. You've had 15 sacks. You've made the Pro Bowl. Seahawks are the top defense in the NFL. What has to happen for that to happen for you?
For me, the biggest thing is, continue to making sure and chasing. I feel like the biggest thing is no matter what happens, as long as I'm always increasingly getting better, always working on getting better. And on top of that, having the people behind me, I feel like with the defense we have, the people we have around us, it can happen. As long as everyone is buying in and we're working together, it can definitely be a true future.
So this is like year 4 for you, yeah? You're heading to year 4. What would year 4 Boye Mafe tell year 1 Boye Mafe if you could go back and have that conversation?
If I could go back and talk to myself as a rookie, man, is understand that just keep working, be patient. In time, the times as a rookie where you didn't understand what was going on, you didn't understand what was happening, just be patient and it will come and just keep working.
Those sound like words you offered Derek Hall. I heard from him saying that you, like in his slower rookie year, you said, stick with it. How much does it mean to you that like you've had an impact on another player on the team that way?
I mean, it means everything to me. At the end of the day, my career is not going to be measured by the wins and losses, what I did on the field. It's going to be how I impacted my teammates and what my teammates talk about me. It's all about the character you have and how people look at you in the light that they talk about you. What people say about you when you're not in the room.
What would be, if you could have a teammate compliment you in the best way, what would be some of the things you'd hope that they would say about you?
I'd say, hopefully I have a good character, and hopefully I'm a nice person, and honestly, I don't really know exactly what it would be, but just I'd be hopefully it's in a positive light.
So now you guys have had a bunch of OTAs, minicamp now. What kind of stood out to you? Who has stood out to you through these early parts of the offseason?
I feel like I like a lot of the guys. I feel like we all came back hungry, especially on the defensive side. The way playing with these guys, we're moving, we're talking, we're communicating, and I like the energy that we're building up. Guys have showed out, guys are showing up. And, especially, the new team, the new people around, I like the energy that we're bringing into the building. So there's a lot of excitement. I can't really say there's one person in particular who sticks out, but I definitely say that it's been very energetic and very in a positive way.
So Julian Love yesterday said it's gotten to the point where you guys aren't just competing to be the best defense possible. The individual groups in the room want to be the tip of the spear. So the secondary is very loud. Where do you guys think you fit relative to the secondary in that defensive line room?
I feel like we're the tip. We're always the tip of the spear. And I feel like at the end of the day, like, energy starts. It all starts up front. It starts in the trenches. It starts in the line, offensive line and defensive line. That's where it all starts regardless. Secondary, those guys are the Robin to our Batman, but, we won't speak on that.
And, obviously Chenoweth is not quite back, but you've added DeMarcus Lawrence. What are your early impressions of him?
High energy guy. He has a high volume, high voice. He's talking and communicating a lot. He's teaching all the young guys. I feel like it's a good voice for the defense, good voice for the room. The way he's communicating, telling guys, just giving them game about football. He's been in the league for a long time. I don't think it's 9-10 years now. So he has a lot of knowledge in him. And the fact that he's able to share and give that knowledge to other guys on the team, I feel is a very big help and something we needed.
Adam Dirty mentioned that like you bring all sorts of special energy on third down, and one of the things he's working on and wants to see is that same energy on first and second down. Is that something that you've noticed, or would you say it differently?
About my energy?
About just, is there first and second down changes that you're looking to make to your game, or is that something that doesn't really resonate?
For me, the biggest thing is obviously there's always got to get better. And like you said, a third down is my specialty. I got to figure out how to make my game better and always increase. Can't speak to anything about, what he had to say, but more so of myself is just always getting better and obtaining and making sure that I can be a better player than I was yesterday.
Well, and last thing I'll ask you there is a great example of that is obviously you made a huge leap first year to second year in terms of the numbers pass rush. And then second year to third year, pass rush, like sacks might not have been there, but your run defense took a really big step forward. Coaches said it. You could see it from all sorts of angles. What did you do to really bring out your run defense?
I feel like for me, the biggest thing was I had to make sure I understood, studying film, making the job for myself easier. Once you are ahead of the play, it makes your job a lot easier, and making sure you have the right eyes and understanding and slowing the game down for yourself so that you're not just out there running around like a chicken.
All right, Boye Mafe, good luck, man. Enjoy the well-earned trip vacation. And I'm Brian Emmanwori. We'll be back with more player interviews soon. Thanks.
Perfect time for a new roof. Take advantage of our easy financing, summer specials, and the best warranty.
Folks, sorry about that. That was an example of the problems with doing a show on the side of the street in downtown Seattle. I ran into parking enforcement and I had to move my car while that interview was going on. So that's that. Hopefully I'll be fine here for a few minutes. I might have to cut this short. We'll see if the parking enforcement comes back and tries to find me. So I thought it was good stuff from Boye Mafe, and appreciated that he took the time with me. And this is a guy that I think is really crucial to the success of the Seahawks going into this season. And, I do think that we need to see if he can make the leap from being, a 8 to 10 sack guy to a 12 to more, can he do more? So, appreciated, hearing from him, what he's thinking about there. And also loved the kind of back and forth about the secondary being the Robin to their Batman. And I think that kind of competition is good. I think competition is good for this defensive side of the ball. Okay. So there were a couple other things I wanted to share with you. I talked to you guys about practice. And so let me look at my notes real quick there. So a couple things that came up with practice yesterday. Jamie Sheriff was not practicing. That was one of the first times I had seen him not practicing. Tyrone Broden, the receiver, was not practicing as well, the undrafted free agent. Didn't get any updates really on their situation. But, Riley Mills and Torrey Horton and, Quentin Bohanna and Jamie Sheriff and Broden were all on the bikes, kind of on the side, competing with each other on seeing how fast they could push the bikes, and, were smiles and hanging out. So that was all good. The other thing that I really wanted, I'll go through a couple other things before I get to the Jalen Milroe and the Emmanwori stuff. They did some special teams work, so some kick returning. I think that was the first time I'd seen kick returning. We've seen putt returning before, but the primary kick returners were Kenny McIntosh and Steven Sims. So that was the first string. And then the backups were Zach Charbonnet and Damian Martinez. I thought that was interesting. And third string was, I don't remember how 31 is. I think it's Jacardia Wright, but I'm not positive. And John Rice Plumley were third string. So Charbonnet and Damian Martinez as second string, I thought was also interesting and worth kind of being aware of. Christian Haynes was still starting at right guard primarily. Olu was getting, starting snaps at center, although Jalen Sundell, got some snaps as well. There was a new drill that they were running on offense, the offensive line. And as you guys know, I'm watching a lot of that with John Benton and that crew. They were working on kind of blitz pickup and, stunts where people are in twists, where you're having to block multiple guys and guys are coming from different angles. The way the drill worked was that they'd have one guy blocking, and then they'd send 3 different kind of attackers that were other offensive linemen holding blocking pads. And they'd come, kind of in looping different angles. And the offensive lineman would have to, pick up one and then move and pick up the other and then pick up the third. And they were coming from different angles. So they'd have to move their feet and retarget. And, you can imagine when you've got twisting, stunting guys, you've got to really see them and pick them up and still be able to deliver the block. Well, one of the things that happened during that drill was Mason Richmond had a really, really good rep. And one of the ways you could tell a good rep from a not as good rep is you can kind of see, like, were they picking up the guy at the line where they were, or were they kind of getting pushed back a little bit? And Richmond just delivered 3 really good blows to the oncoming, attackers or defenders in this case. And John Benton, stopped the drill and, called them out, pointed it out to the other guys, said, like, that's what we're looking for, pointed out why it was what he was looking for. And so I thought that was cool to see from Mason Richmond. Anthony Bradford, again, had a good performance there. Interesting comment from Mike McDonald. I asked him about Anthony Bradford after the practice, and I'll play some of Mike McDonald's sound and some of the other sound from after the practice on another episode. But he said that Anthony Bradford changed his body composition. So my eyes are correct that that he is healthier than he has been, or in better fitness. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by people that are going to come and maybe try to get me to move my parking spot again. So again, Anthony Bradford, he's changed his body composition. According to Mike McDonald, he is in better shape. And they're going to keep pushing him. So I think that's all really good news and something that, I had noticed, but now I have confirmation on, and I think he continues to look good during these practices. Other things that came out to me. So let me talk about the Jalen Milroe stuff. So, sorry for all the noise, folks. I think 3 rookies really got a lot of work and looked good in this practice. So one of them was Damian Martinez. Damian Martinez got more carries than I've seen him get so far. He was heavily utilized, and he just looks good. Now, running backs in a padless practice, almost honestly in any practice, are impossible to evaluate, but he's got burst. He's got a good change of direction, and I just like what I see from Damian Martinez. So that's as much as I'll probably say on him. Jalen Milroe, what I saw there was progress. Like he was completing passes. He was on target. He wasn't perfect. I mean, he was not perfect. He had some real off-target throws in a couple of situations, but this was his best day throwing the football. I felt like he made a number of nice throws, different levels of the defense. I thought he was going through his progressions nicely. And my large kind of takeaway there was this is a guy that shouldn't have really something keeping him from making progress as a passer. So I think that's great. All right, I got to move again. My God, sorry guys. I may have to stop the show. This is not ideal to be doing this while I am driving currently. The other guy that really stood out for me was Nick Emmanwori. Nick Emmanwori, I thought, had his best practice. He was blitzing more than he had been. And all right, I think I found a safe spot to pull over. All right. So he was blitzing more than he had been and getting home. He was blitzing from depth. And so when that was going on, I'm talking about like second level, roughly linebacker level. And his speed really shows up on the blitz in that situation. His timing was also good, and you could see him kind of working on when to actually make the move, not to keep it disguised. And he was getting into the backfield like in a flash. And so I think the potential, Mike McDonald talked about it, his potential as a blitzer and their intention to use him as a blitzer. That was really exciting to see, and something that I think that we're going to see much more of during the regular season. So I also saw Nick Emmanwori. There was a play later in practice. Let me check my notes to make sure I've got the right piece here. It was in the red zone, late in the red zone drill. So Jake Bobo was in the slot, and Emmanwori was lined up man coverage on Jake Bobo, a receiver, and was glued to him in coverage. Great coverage. And who was scrambling to throw the ball? I think it was Drew Lock. Drew Lock was rolling out, and he was looking at Bobo. He was trying to find Bobo, and eventually he decided to give Bobo a chance. He threw it to Bobo, who made the catch, but Emmanwori was so tight to him that as soon as he made the catch, he pushed him with his, as strongly as he could, and Bobo couldn't get his feet in bounds. So Nick was really excited about that. I thought it was a great demonstration of his coverage. And I think just in general, this was his best practice of demonstrating his traits, the speed that we saw on the blitzes, the coverage that we saw guarding a receiver like Bobo, the strength to push, a big receiver out of bounds, was all on display. And I think that's really good news. So good stuff from Nick Emmanwori, good stuff from Jalen Milroe, good stuff from Damian Martinez. Let me see if there's other notes. Oh, Robbie Oates, speaking of rookie, Robbie Oates caught a touchdown during red zone drills, and you wouldn't have to have even seen it because you heard it. As soon as Robbie Oates caught that touchdown, the offensive sideline erupted with oots. Like it just echoed. And so that was really cool to see, you know, him making that. I think Cody White, a guy that I've talked about, is having a strong OTA and minicamp so far. He was getting more reps with the starters than I have seen so far. He did drop one pass. He made some other catches, but I think they're going to give Cody White an opportunity to, you know, get some meaningful snaps at the X position. He's got the, you know, the best combination of skills as, you know, route runner, as someone who can get deep, who's got some strength to him. I think they're going to give him a shot. I don't know if that's a good thing eventually or not. That's going to be up to Cody White, but he's somebody to keep an eye on as we head into training camp. Sam Darnold did throw a few more picks, or at least a few more that should have been picked. He threw one that should have been picked by Reek Woolen. He threw one that should have been picked by, I think, Devin Witherspoon. I think it was Devin Witherspoon. You know, like, but he also had some really nice throws. It's just, it's not great. It's not great. I wouldn't say it's great, but it's not awful either. So, you know, just a decent day there overall. Ricky White had a couple nice catches in this practice from Jalen Milroe. He was unable to come up with another. There was one really nice play action pass from Jalen Milroe where he was targeting, I think it's Marshall Lang, number 49, the tight end from Northwestern. And there was a coverage bust. So, you know, he was pretty open, but Milroe made a really nice throw. It was just outside, like just off his fingertips, that Lang couldn't quite come down with it. But it was a smooth play action under center delivery. Like, it was all the things I think you want to see from Jalen Milroe that I don't think we were sure that he had in his game. And you know, he's doing well. All right. Let me see if there's anything else that I wanted to share with you guys there. I don't think there is. So let me share with you that the rookies did some performing yesterday, and I want to share with you guys a couple of those performances. I have to find them first. So these are coming via Instagram stories. So let me put these up here for you guys to see. And there's some funny stuff going on with these. So this is from Uchenna Nwosu. And this is Nick Emmanwori doing his performance. So here you go. This is, I don't know who's singing this. This is Gray Zabel telling everybody about his signing bonus. They make him do this.
Gray Zabel, North Dakota State, $10 million.
Okay, so Jalen Milroe was apparently a pretty popular one here. He got a lot of praise from a couple different guys. This is who is this? I couldn't see on that one. So then this is Reek Woolens showing Bryce Cable do. They liked what Bryce had to do. And then wait, I think there was one more. Okay. This is Bubba Thomas. So you can watch him.
Bubba Thomas, South Alabama, South for
Big winning ball.
This is I think this is Mason Richmond and Riley Mills. I'm not sure.
How you doing? My name is Charlie. Last name Wilson. I was wondering if I could tell you about, show you a good time. If I should shoot my house, here's my number. Girl, you can call me. Hey, don't forget, man. My name is Charlie. We all love this.
So I think we'll call that good. Man, it was fun. It was fun to see those guys enjoying themselves. And Leonard Williams talked yesterday. I'll play some sound from him another time about the camaraderie that's building on that team. And that's one of the things I've been talking to you guys about. I think they've emphasized creating culture. I think they've emphasized creating the bond and the connection on the team. And I think it's working. And I think it's not just because they're emphasizing it. I think these guys generally like each other. I think it's the right time. I think there's the right people in the locker room and the right people in the coaching staff and the front office. So, good stuff there. Now, none of that means that they're going to, win games or be the more talented team or the better coach team or any of that. That all still is to be determined. But I think being a tightly connected team matters. And I think they've got that. And I think these guys like coming to work every day. And I think that's a big start. That's a big start. All right, everybody, I am going to leave you there because I don't want to get arrested for doing any more driving while podcasting. Hopefully nobody that's watching this reports me. I would appreciate you don't. And I'll be back with you later on with more content. Tonight, Thursday night, is a real Hawk Talk. It's an odd night. It's a double pod Thursday. Evan Hill, Dana O'Gorman will be on with me tonight. We'll talk more then. Looking forward to it. So I will see you all later. Until then, have a great rest of your day. Make sure you give the show a like and click subscribe. Go to patreon.com/hawkblogger. Sign up, get ad-free audio each and every day and access to the Discord channel. And you will get verified on hbtix.com as a patron, which makes you more trustworthy. So appreciate all you for tuning in for this random odd episode of Hawk Blogger Mornings. Take care, y'all.